Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know how we get into it first. Go Birds, undefeated so far. But just want to get into it. Hopefully, be a really quick video today. So let's get into it. Trump literally said twice over this last weekend, and usually I don't get caught up on his words because I feel like that's exactly why we're in a lot of the shit we're into today because we chase his words and not his actual policies. But I digress and be a hypocrite on myself today and say concentrate on his words because he actually said, and I quote, some people were born to be criminals, right? And he said it twice. And I think he said it in defense of a lot of the tactics that he's taking, the harshness that he's taking, particularly to illegal or undocumented immigrants. And so I just wanted to unpack that for like what that actually means and how it has a larger, greater implication to how he actually thinks and to his actual policies. So let's just get into it. Foremost, that's not a Christian stance. For someone that claims that no one loves the Bible more than him, someone selling the Bible and, lacing himself with Christian ethos and saying he's Christian nationalist and things of that nature, what part of Christianity says that someone is born as something and there's no change? Like that literally says that like the whole point of Christianity of like being made new through accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior is not possible because you are just going to be an evil person at heart and there's no solution for that. So I feel like just on its face, any Christian listening to that should say that's like literally blasphemous, you know? Um, but listening to that again, it's just like, so are you saying that like nurturing doesn't mean anything? So that like people just come out the womb and there's no amount of money, no amount of resources, no amount of love, no amount of education, no amount of anything. If somebody's just meant to be a terrible criminal and violent and uneducated and scary, like that's what they're going to be. And I think at the end of the day, we know that that is not what he's talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that, but I'm going to just humor the argument for a moment and say, okay, if not that, then what? If he's not saying that just people are just naturally that, then he's saying that there are certain circumstances that would create all this stuff, right? So maybe someone not having education or someone being poor or someone having mental health issues or someone going through traumatic trauma or, crime ridden or poverty or have things of that nature, like maybe those will contribute to a person being like this criminal that he's just talking about. And it just shows exactly how he feels about certain people. So he doesn't believe that certain people deserve resources. He doesn't believe that certain people deserve education. He doesn't believe that certain people deserve safety nets, which is why his plans are enacting as they are, right? He believes in the Constitution only for certain people, right? Only certain people deserve due process. Only certain people deserve minimum living conditions. Only certain people deserve protections under the Constitution. And that's literally only certain people deserve to vote. Right? And I feel like that is what he's literally enacting in his policies, is trying to suggest that a certain group of people, and we all know that he might not admit it, but ironically, this group of people is going to look like me. Ironically, these group of people are either going to be black, they're going to be brown, they're going to be gay, more than likely going to be women. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is it going to be, we know what the group won't be, right? We know the group will not be predominantly white men. We know that, right? I mean, I think if you just took the through line through everything that he supports and the things that he's against, we can say that the most majority of things that this man supports just ironically supports white men and ironically disproportionately affects everyone that's not. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get it. Like I said, it's going to be a short video today and just think of like, do you believe that people are just born to be who they are and there's absolutely no chance for them to get it together? Or do you believe like what data says that like most people are products of their environment? That of course, if most people that have access to education are going to be educated. Most people that have access to two-parent households and resources and families are more than likely going to achieve a certain affect. Now, it's not 100% guarantee, right? But we know if you add certain more variables to a person, that they are far less likely to, be bad or a criminal and things of that nature. But that's not what Trump wants you to believe. Trump wants you to believe that a criminal is based on someone based on how they look, right? And this whole thing about due process and certain people enabling to have it and certain people not, like that's what it is, right? Without due process, you're almost forcing yourself to be prejudiced, forcing yourself to look at the external and say, like, okay, this person is going to do that. And just let's not fall into that, yo. Let's like not say that people are just who they are, because we all know how that's been weaponized in the past, right? It's been weaponized against black people, especially. Oh, we're just brutes and animals, and they invented a whole system of false racism that has nothing to do with science to try and predicate their notion that, hey, if you look at a black person, more than likely they're going to be that, right? And I think now the newest person they're trying to do that is the all immigrants rather, and not just undocumented immigrants. They want you just to look basically at every brown person and say, hey, fear that person. That person is more likely here is going to be illegal. That person more likely here is going to be a criminal. That person's going to be that way. And they want you to do that. And it's not just, it's going to be you next, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's just get into it. Let's stop fighting against our own preservation. Let's actually be people of faith. I mean, even if you're not a Christian, that's like normal, right? I mean, if it's not your moral ethos that you're supposed to found everything after, right? But I mean, like, what else is new? I mean, like they say, you know, how's the refugee? What do they do to the refugee? They say give all to the poor. What do they do to the poor? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so it's literally like this is just another par for the course of these fake ass Christians not doing anything that Jesus said or did. But let's not fall into it. Let's make sure that we know that people are people, and that most people will be great people if you just enable them to have all the resources that we all need. Until next time.